What a disaster. What an absolute embarrassment. No wonder Cam Harris doesn't do interviews. No wonder deacons at Woke United Methodist are only comfortable having Commander Cam lead the cackling choir. No wonder our former fearless leader, Johnny B. Biden, kept his pretend vice president hidden for most of his presidency. If you put Cam in a situation without a teleprompter, if you put her in a situation without a pre-approved script that she was given 2 weeks to memorize, if you put Cam Harris in one of these dangerous situations, she becomes a huge embarrassing failure. I mean, Cam Harris can't answer simple questions, or as she prefers to call them, gotcha questions. Let me give you an example of one of these gotcha questions. Pretend Vice President, are your subjects, citizens, are they better off today than they were 4 years ago? Simple question with a simple answer, right? 4 years ago, we were in the midst of the COVID. The good old days, when gas was under $2 a gallon, and every time we turned on the TV, we were blessed to see the wrinkled face of Aunt Fauci. 4 years ago, people living in woke cities and woke states, they were on lockdown, unless, of course, they were choosing to identify as peaceful protesters. If you wanted to attend church on Sunday morning, that was no bueno. That was too dangerous. You were putting yourself at risk of catching germs. 4 years ago, millions of people were living in misery. So when Cam Harris is asked the question again, because she was asked this same question at the debate and she failed to answer there too. When Cam Harris is asked again, are people better off today than they were 4 years ago? The obvious answer is no. But for some reason, courageous Cam can't seem to muster up the courage to answer that simple question. Instead, she often responds with these scripted autobiographical answers that she picked up from the word salad bar at 5-Star Frank's, home of the grilled wiener. This week has been atrocious for Cam Harris. Not only is CNN, the Cemetery News Network, starting to question her abilities or complete lack thereof, now the competence of Cam Harris, it is starting to be questioned by the journalists that she thought that she could count on the most. If you haven't already, make sure to like and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at KC_BTL84. Link to the second channel, description below. Later tonight, we're going to be talking about Donald Trump absolutely eviscerating Howie Stern on the second channel. So go ahead and subscribe if you haven't already done so. And let's go ahead and get to the sponsor for today's video. I could not think of a better sponsor for this particular video other than my friends at Saving America. I cannot tell you how many times that I have been asked, Casey, how do you know so much about the media and their woke agenda? The answer is simple. This is all I have to do. While you guys are working, I am watching clips of the Wicked Weave Joy Reid flying her broom around the studio. This is what I do for a living, but the vast majority of people, they do not have that luxury, which unfortunately means the vast majority of Americans are uninformed when it comes to the potential destruction of their country. But what have I told you? There was a way for you to learn all of this while having fun with your friends and family at the same time. That is the primary idea behind Saving America, the card game. Saving America comes with 54 cards that represent 54 internal threats to the country. Gameplay is very simple. Each threat has 3 peaceful and civil ways to defeat it. However, if a combination of 5 cards or 5 threats come together, the game is toppled just like the threat could topple America in real life. This game is specifically designed to teach taxpayers, potential voters, hardworking Americans. Basically, it is designed to teach normal, people about the threats that America is facing. This game is great for nights with friends or fighting against the indoctrination that your children receive at school by teaching them what's actually going on in America. So click the link in the description below. Use my promo code GOKC, GOKC. Save 10% off your purchase with Saving America. Earlier this week, Cam Harris sat down for her second interview in 2 months. This time, she was being interviewed by the National Association of Black Journalists. Well, KC, didn't this convention happen last month? Yeah, it damn sure did. Matter of fact, Cam was supposed to be there last month. Donald Trump found the time to show up in what was a hostile environment. For Commander Cam, you could not ask for a more friendly atmosphere than the National Association of Black Journalists. This would be the equivalent of Joy Reid interviewing someone like Lucifer. You know it's going to be friendly. But for reasons unknown, Cam Harris just couldn't make it last month. My inside sources are telling me that she was busy studying on what it means to be president. When she initially accepted the nomination, Cam thought being president meant that you receive free housing, free transportation, free airfare, free food. Basically, she thought it was the same as becoming a pretend basketball player in the WNBA dump, where you receive a bunch of free stuff and you don't really have to work for it. Cam did not know that becoming president was an actual job, but that's okay. That's okay. She is willing to sacrifice. She is willing to accept the role for the good of her American subjects. Since Cam was afraid to appear with the Trumper last month, she decided to accept the second invitation that was sent by the NABJ, and she attended the conference this week. Now, on the surface, this would seem to be an easy setting for Cam Harris to thrive. You're being interviewed by people who want you to be promoted from pretend vice president to president. You're being interviewed by journalists in the mainstream media who have been programmed and trained to possess a severe hatred of Orange Man bad. With everything being set up perfectly for success, you would think there's absolutely no way for Cam Harris to mess this up. Just like her predecessor, Johnny B. Biden, Cam Harris has this unique ability to fuck things up. Now, to their credit, the National Association of Black Journalists, they asked real questions and they pressed Commander Cam for real answers. This was not like the debate on ABC where the moderators were asking Cam questions that you would expect to hear on a first date. So, Cam, tell me about yourself. Well, I grew up in a middle-class family. We like to play Scrabble. At one point, the panel of journalists, they asked Cam Harris what she was going to do to eliminate gun violence. Now, like the rest of her responses when she ventures off script, Cam provided a vague answer and made sure to include woke boner words that she's heard other deacons use in the past. Universal background checks, assault weapons ban, ooh, Cam-like. Unfortunately for Cam Harris, her vague responses, they were met with resistance from the National Association of Black Journalists. The panel was seen getting visibly upset at her inability to provide direct answers to simple questions. At one point, one of the panelists became so frustrated with one of Cam's typical soliloquies that she interrupted her and said something to the effect of, "I'm asking you about handguns. I'm not talking about assault weapons. I'm talking about handguns. Do you know what that is? Can you give me a direct answer?" What was Cam's response? "One time I protested at a gun show." What? Since it was abundantly clear that Cam was struggling, the panel, they decided to give her a break and give her a softball question. They asked her about Donald Trump and J.D. Vance and their continued claims that immigrants in Ohio are hunting Garfield. As the Democratic nominee for president, This should have been an easy question for Cam to answer. If Barry the Obama was given this question, he would be able to provide an answer in a coma. In response to the question, Cam Harris started talking about picture day in elementary school. When she heard the disgust in the audience, along with the snoring from the journalists that were on the panel, Cam knew that she had to audible to wake people up. So she ran through her woke dictionary looking for words that would excite the crowd and awaken the panel. In summary, these allegations from Don Trump and John Vance are extremely racist. Now, normally that would lead to a standing ovation at Woke United Methodist, but the crowd was so painfully bored at this point, there was no way that Cam Harris could revive them. Now, I know I'm joking around a lot, but the premise of what I am telling you is 100% true. This was absolutely disastrous for Cam Harris, and you don't have to take my word for it. Uncle KC always comes with the proof. I want you to pay very, very close attention to every second of this clip I'm about to show you. I'm about to show you Cam Harris exiting the stage at the NABJ. Pay close attention to her body language and her facial expressions and how quickly she runs off stage. Pay close attention to the response of the crowd, or in this case, the lack of response. Last but not least, I want you to look at the faces and the body language of the panel of journalists. Their faces tell you all you need to know. They look like they had just spent the past hour trying to teach a handless man how to use a hammer. Watch for yourself. You know what I think is going on here? You know why I think Kamala Harris is struggling? She is struggling to answer basic questions because she knows her beliefs are not going to get her elected. So she is being put in these situations where she feels like she's forced to lie. Problem is, Cam Harris ain't a good liar. Cam Harris always seems like she's hiding something. She always seems like she's uncomfortable revealing who she is because she knows if the real Cam Harris is revealed, she does not have a chance at winning this election. But give me your thoughts on this. Cam Harris is a disaster at the National Association of Black Journalists. This should have been an easy interview, but it's clear that Cam Harris can't handle it. Why do you think that is? Is it because she is trying hard to hide the real Cam Harris? Do you think we're going to see more and more journalists in the mainstream media turning on Commander Cam? You tell me. Sound off in the comments below. Like, subscribe, share the video. Appreciate your support. Best way to contact me is by email at btlkc84@gmail.com, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.